Good afternoon, everyone. Pastor Janet here. I wanted to come back and talk about personification. Now, you probably wonder what that word means, but let me tell you, I assure you, you've used it many times in your conversations describing people. So it says, let me get this my paper here because I want to say it exactly right. Now, personification is a literary term. Okay, let me get this back here. Okay, personification is using human verbs and adjectives to describe non-human things. Okay, like it uses things like you can add it to animals, to objects, to abstract ideas, just to create a more vivid picture for your audience. Like for example, if you said, "The sun smiled down at me." Now we know the sun can't smile, okay, but you're using an adjective to describe so the reader can get an idea. The sun shined down on me. It means it's warm and inviting. Oh, it just felt so good. The sun shining down on me. So that's personification. It's giving the sun a human characteristic, even though the sun is not. Okay, and another thing would be, I had to put my glasses on, guys, because I don't want to read it wrong. Okay, so I'm gonna keep them on, but I'll do it like this. I'll pull them down. How's that? Okay, like I said, Adam's clock yells each morning. Now we know the clock can't yell, so you're giving a human characteristic to a clock. And that way the reader knows what you're talking about. The reader means it's so loud that it just yells and wakes him up. His clock yells, even though the clock cannot yell. Okay. The wind streams. Oh no, I read that wrong. Excuse me. The wind screams. Now we know that the wind can't scream. So what's that saying to the reader is that the wind is loud. It's just so loud you can hear it hitting against the doors and the shutters. So it's like the wind was screaming. It's just so loud. And if you said the lightning dance. Now we know lightning is not a human thing. It can't dance. So what you're saying, the lightning was going back and forth. It was just going in all directions. It's like it was dancing. Those are all personification. I'm sure you used it to describe people sometime. Like if you might be describing a friend and you might say, she's like a wet puppy. Now you know a wet puppy is, yeah, they're sad and they're hurt. So that's what you're saying about your friend. She's just like a wet puppy. Everything bothers her. Are you getting the gist of what I'm saying? Okay. Or say that you said something like this: the door jumped in my way. So what do you? So the reader gets the idea that you bumped into the door. The door jumped in. You were really in the way of the door, but you give the door a human characteristic. So he said the door jumped in my way. Okay. And here's another one: the chair groaned as he sat down. So the chair made sounds. Of course, a chair can't make, it's not a human thing. It can't make sounds like a human one. But when he sat down, maybe it creaked and just made bad noises, just creaking and all kind of sounds. So all those are personification. I'm giving you examples so you know. Now here's another one. She sat down at the tired, overworked desk. Now we know the desk is not a person. It can't move or anything like that. But she sat down at the tired, overworked desk. So we're giving the reader a chance to understand. So she's been sitting there for so many hours that she's just overworked. So it's like the desk is overworked. She's so much going on. So she sat down at the overworked desk. So she sat down at the overworked desk. The desk wasn't overworked. She was. Okay. Okay, here's another one. Let me see. Well, that's all I got down for. The flowers dance. That's another one. I love that one. Use that probably sometime in poetry. Now we know flowers can't dance, but you can see how they sway and move. So the reader gets ideas when you said the flowers dance. Oh, she knows the flowers are moving in some kind of way, gracefully, moving. So it's like they were dancing, So personification is giving human emotions or characteristics to non-human things. So I'm sure you can think of some on your own about personification. That's a literary term. As you get into writing, you find there are a lot of literary terms. In fact, I was talking to my nephew today, and he was telling me another one. I'll have to look that one up because I know I must have had it, but I didn't quite remember it. But there's so many literary terms. Like we've studied simile, we studied metaphor, we've studied backstory, and flashback. And now this is personification. These are things that you use in life that you also use in your writing. Because life, when you write, you want your writing to be similar to life. And life has emotions and stuff like that. And now, personification, I like personification. There's just something about it I like, the way it's saying things. I'm trying to think of some think of people that you know if you're describing someone. Okay, you could say, oh, let me see. There's so many that I just can't really stop and think of them right now. But personification is just giving, like, okay, like they say the car's tires, tires of the car rolled silently down the road. Now we know tires make noise, but if you say silently, that's giving a human characteristic to the tires, saying that the tires were very quiet. You could hardly hear them as they went down the road. Or the little girl drank her milk like a kitty cat. So we know kitty cats lap their milk up, real fast. So the girl's drinking her milk real fast. That's what it's saying to the girl. Drank her milk like a kitty cat. So how do kitty cats drink? Have you ever watched them? They go real fast. So she drank her, her milk very fast. So personification is something that we use every day in life. You don't even think about it. You use it when you describe people, when you describe things. Just think about some of the things that you have given human characteristics to that aren't human at all. I'm trying to think of another one. Let me see. Oh, there are so many. You can look them up in the thing, but you use them every day. I know I do. Like in describing. Well, let me see. I'm trying to think. Oh well. Anyway, you see what I'm talking about. It's giving human characteristics to things that aren't human. Okay, like you could say, the willow tree bowed to me. Well, we know that the willow tree bends and stuff, so we get an idea. If the willow tree is bowing to her, the leaves are way down. The wind is blowing. It's like it's bowing. So the willow tree bowed to me. Okay, personification is an easy one because you use it every day in describing people and using inhuman things to add human characteristics to say that they're like that in some way, like the one about the clock. Adam's clock yells. That means it's so loud, everybody can hear it. Adam's clock yells. It's just loud. It's a loud sound, so the reader already knows that's a loud sound. So that clock must really let off an alarm to wake Adam up. So that's personification. You're saying the clock screams. Clock can't scream. So think about personification as things that are not human, but we give human characteristics to give a vivid picture to the reader. I love personification. I really do, because a lot of things, especially in writing poetry, because I'm a poet and I love to write poetry, and so that's another. Poetry uses a lot of personification. Like you could say the waves slapped the shore. Now we know that the waves can't slap the shore. But it means that the waves hit the shore hard. The waves slapped the shore. It hit the shore very hard. So that's what. So you're describing how. So in your mind, you see that. You can see the waves hitting the shore hard, hard. And then you could say the boat was tossed on the sea like a salad. Well, how is the salad? Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So think of personification like that. Anything that you're using adjectives or verbs to describe something that's not human, but you're giving it a human characteristic to make it vivid for your reader to read and understand. That's easy to understand. About the boat was tossed and turned like a salad in a bowl. So we know that the boat is being shaken all over the place. The waves are high. The boat is going. Everything's going back and forth and back. Tossed like a salad, like you toss a salad in a bowl. So personification is one that's good. I like it. I hope I brought it down a little bit. I don't want to make it too complicated. I just want you to be able to understand. Think about when you're describing people. I was trying to think of how, like, when you use adjectives to describe people, you may say she was like a little puppy. That's a simile. Like, remember the simile? Like a little puppy. How are little puppies? Very timid, very quiet, can be hurt easily. Okay, but now in personification we didn't use that like that. I'm trying to think how you can, but that was a simile that I used there. See if you remember simile. I hope you do. Okay, where a metaphor would say she was a puppy in his hands, just a puppy in his hands. So you know how a puppy is. So, but personification gives inhuman things, human characteristics, like the willow wheat, the sea tossed and turned like a salad. So that's letting you get. We know the sea is not human, and we know salad isn't human, but we're giving an idea to the people that that's the way the boat was tossed like a salad. Personification, the Adam's clock scream. That was one that I gave you, Adam's clock scream. And about, let me see, I gave you another one there too, which said, the sun smiled down at me. And we know the sun is not is an inanimate object. So how can it smile? It can't. But the reader gets an idea. Oh, the sun, so it means it was warm on her face. It felt good. It was warm, refreshing. So the sun, it was like the sun was smiling at me. Or you could say the stars twinkled in the sky like her eyes. That's a simile there too, like her eyes. Also, the stars can twinkle. They can like make, little flashing things, but we're saying the stars twinkled. So we're giving stars a human thing like her eyes. You can use simile and metaphor, personification. You can get all that. You can use it in different ways, and they complement each other. Okay, and see, there's another one I had here. I've got so many notes here, guys, because I don't want to lead you in the wrong direction. I want you to be able to understand what I'm saying. Like that one, the lightning dance. Can lightning dance? No, but the people get the idea of what you're talking about because lightning strikes and it moves and it goes here, there, everywhere. So it's like a person dancing. So it's the lightning dance, and that one about the door jumped in my way. So we know, oh, she got hit by the door. The door jumped in her way, so she got hit. Okay, and the chair groaned as he sat down. Chairs can't groan, but we get the idea. Okay, when he sat down in the chair, it was so hard that it made sounds. So personification is just using different ideas. You can use it with animals. Like you say, her father growled. Her father's voice was growled. Well, the voice. Wait. Okay, let me redo that one. The father's voice growled. Well, we know a man can't growl. The lion growls. So we get the impression that his father's voice was so rough and harsh, so loud, that it roared like a lion in her mind and it scared her. There's things you can make up. So, some of these things, I hope I'm explaining them well enough to you. Because so many things like that. In literary terms, there's so many things. Okay, so I'm trying to think of anything else I have down here. No, I like that one about she sat down tired at the overworked desk. Well, we know the desk isn't overworked, but she's overworked sitting at the desk. So that's a good one. So I hope you understand some of this. So I'm gonna be back with more, but let me suggest something to you. If something I say isn't clear, look it up. Personification, you can find it. But like I say, if you think about it, when you're with people, when you're describing something or someone, and you use something that's not human to describe that person, like I'm trying to think of other, like trees. Well, anyway, there's so many more. I've been doing a lot today, so I've been rushing. So if I seem rushed, that is true. I have been rushed today. A lot's been going on with family members and stuff, so I've been trying to counsel and do a lot of stuff. So, but anyway, I'm just saying, literary terms, they bring your writing to life. Personification, metaphor, simile, they all bring your work to life for the reader so that the reader can understand it better and get a more vivid picture in your mind. Like you say, the sun danced over the waters. That means that the sun was moving over the waters. Or the wind swayed like a dancer in his arms. So the wind is moving him back and forth, almost like a dancer. So you just look for all that stuff. It's all there. Personification, simile, metaphor. And I'm going to bring some more. There are so many literary terms, really so many, that you can use that will bring your readers into the picture and they can understand it and see it in their mind. And you want them to picture what you're talking about in their mind. Like when you said the sun smiled down on me, you can see that in your mind. You see the sun warm and on her face, and she's just thinking, oh, that's just beautiful. Such a warm, beautiful sun. So you can understand what she's saying. The sun smiled down on me. There's so personification is beautiful to use in writing. And when you use it every day, think about some of the ways you describe people. Oh, she's a puppy. So what are you talking about? That's a metaphor. Or she is like a little puppy. That's a simile, comparing her to a little puppy. So all these are good for you. Get into them, dig deeper than what I'm telling you. You know, in my writing school, I go into all that kind of stuff, you know, which is on the internet. And let me tell you, my writing school is doing good. I have people from all around the world that are in my writing school that are graduating, have gone on to be writers and have written me and told me how much they've enjoyed a free school where they could learn and didn't have to worry about tuition. Because when I went to school, I had to worry about tuition. So I try to make it so other people don't have to worry about it. Anyway, so that's personification, giving human characteristics and emotions to inanimate objects that are not human. Okay? Like I said, just think about, you know, the things in life and how you describe such things. Personification is one way to do it. Simile is one way. Metaphor is one way. So get into those. It'll help you a lot. Okay. Oh, today I didn't, like I said, I've been really rushed today, so I didn't put on anything new. You've seen this blouse before, so let's see if I can bring it down a little bit so you can see this blouse. This is one I showed you before. So, okay. I'll see you guys later. I'll be back with more. I hope I explained it enough so you to understand it. Like I said, I've been rushed, so if I get a lot on my mind. So, love you guys. Take care. Bye-bye now. Pastor Janet.